Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakahak, Badash. Double honors into the apostles, double honors into the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that look like those heathen nations. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And what you're looking at over here in the far western portion of Eurasia, all right, is Portugal and Spain. From Portugal all the way to this portion of Russia. I can't read what that is. Let me look on my own map. I have this map. It's the Silk Alban Range. All right. It's Asia. That's one map of Asia. There's no separation from Asia and Europe. Europe is not a continent. Europe is a made-up social construct, same as whiteness. When the Renaissance came and Esau Edom got the dominion again, they began to change everything. And they began to try and cover up and hide the truth, and they did a piss poor, horrible job. And one of the main reasons why they're being exposed, well, is because of the internet. All right, the unicorn is exposing them. There's too much physical evidence. Now this is a map of Asia, and as you see, Europe is included. But it's no disconnect. Once again, you can go from train, from rail, from horse, from car, from Portugal, all the way to the Silk Alban Range. And vice versa. You can go from the Silk Alban Range across the continent, all the way to Portugal and Spain, the other side. And that is a fact. And St. Benji sent me a video. It's a 3-minute video. I'm gonna play it. And I'm gonna tell you this: in 16 years of doing the work of the Lord, researching, learning from the apostles and elders, I've never heard anyone say this until we did. No one. So I know that they're watching us and that they're learning from us. The Christians, the historians, they're all mimicking us. On the way home, I saw a group of Christians standing on the corner. They're out there every Monday night on the corner of Chicago and Michigan Avenue with signs and a bullhorn preaching, Jesus, which they changed that. That's not the name. Jesus is not the name. If you still call on Jesus, what that really means is that you're unlearned. And you probably believe in Europe. You probably believe in whiteness. Both those things, all those things are made up of fabrications. This is Romans 15:24. Whensoever I take my journey into Spain, I will come to you. For I trust to see you in my journey and be brought on my way thitherward by you, if first I be somewhat filled with your company. Now this is in the book of Romans, and Paul in his journeys. Jumping down to verse 28. When therefore I have performed this and have sealed them this fruit, I will come by you into Spain. He didn't say he was going into Europe. He said he was going into Spain. All right. And Spain is in Asia. It's in Western Asia. All right. And that is exactly, and they should, and you can see that what they fraudulently call the Middle East, it isn't painted yellow, but they're trying to make a distinction, a separation, because they have Africa in in yellow, and they have Asian, and Eurasia in yellow, as if they were, because Africa connects to Asia right there in Egypt. They touch, they connect. All right. Now that is actually two different continents. Western Asia, Africa. All right. But Western Asia is a part of Eastern Asia and Northwestern Asia. So you could call this Southwestern Asia and that Northwestern Asia. That's South, and that's East Asia, or the Orient to the East. This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, and that we also might have understanding, because we know that Esau, he lied and he renamed every place, he removed landmarks and he changed landmarks, and he does it on maps with ink. Okay. Let's get Psalms 49. The inward thought is that their houses, 49 and 11. Psalms 49 and 11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beasts that perish. This their way is their folly, yet their posterity approve their saying, Selah. So, and now all the posterity is coming to an end, because the truth is out about who these people are and the truth about the world. And you're looking at it, you're bearing witness. There is no separation between Europe and Asia, between Eurasia. And matter of fact, let me bring out the receipt. I'm pretty sure I kept it in my phone. In this, let's go to my evidence folder. Evidence. There we go. Got it. Let me just bring the definition up. All right. Eurasian. All right. The compound Eurasia is not a compound, it's one place. Of or pertaining to Eurasia, Europe, and Asia, considered and forming in reality one continent. All right, that's from the Oxford Dictionary. That's an 1800s Oxford Dictionary. I forget the year, like 1830 or 40 or something like that. It's a pretty old. It's on the shelf behind me, and the writing's so small that you can't see it with the naked eye. You actually need to use your phone to blow it up or a magnifying glass. But there you did. Matter of fact, let me put that up again for those who might be new so you can screenshot it. Because there it is. It's telling you right there. All right. In reality, one continent. Asia. All right. There is no such thing as Europe. Europe was created to confuse people and to push the lie that is whiteness, to push the lie that is white superiority, to push the lie that is Europe. It is all Asia. And the people of Asia were all melanated people until Alexander of Macedon, all right, the Edomite, conquered it and began to lighten everyone up because his army raped and pillaged everywhere that they went. They lightened up the Arabs. The Arabs were just as dark as Africans. Many of them still are. The evidence of it is that there still are. Many people in India and Pakistan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Nepal, those people are very, very dark. Many of them are darker than Negroes. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up this video clip that the brother sent me. I'm going to try and pull it up. Here we go. Let's see. Will it play? Yep. Do I get sound? Let me do it again. Come on now. Give me some sound. It's that comedian George Carlin talking about black people are really brown and they're not black, and how some light-skinned black people are lighter than dark-skinned white people.
It's a brown and tan.
There we go.
Black people are rarely black. I see mostly various shades of brown and tan, and in fact, some light-skinned black people are lighter than the darkest white people. Look how...
All right, so let me stop it right there. They replaced the word swarthy with black. Black is a very racially charged, hateful word. Yet they've got people bragging about it and claiming it. And so, do I have to get the receipts? All right, because black can be associated with darkness, with ugly, with death, with evil, with immoral, all those things. So when they're calling you black, they're calling you ugly, they're calling you dirty, they're calling you immoral, they're telling you that you're without understanding, you're void of light, you're without understanding. All right, so let me play it again.
And black people are rarely black. I see mostly various shades of brown and tan, and in fact, some light-skinned black people are lighter than the darkest white people. Look how dark the people in India are. They're dark brown, but they're considered white. May I see the color chart, please? People of color is an awkward phrase that obscures meaning rather than enhancing it. What shall we call fat people? People of size? I also don't say African Americans. I find it cumbersome and confusing. Which part of Africa are we talking about? Egypt?
Exactly.
Egypt is in Africa, but Egyptians aren't black. They're like the people in India. They're dark brown white people. But they're Africans. So why wouldn't an Egyptian citizen who becomes an Egyptian who becomes a U.S. citizen be called an African American? The same would apply to South Africa. Suppose a white racist from South Africa becomes an American citizen. Couldn't he call himself an African American? If for no other reason than just to bother black people.
So, and that's one of the reasons why they got rid of him. Why we believe here at Great Millstone that he was, not only was he funny, but he told a lot of uncomfortable truths in his comedy. All right. And so the color chart and this whole color thing, well, that was all created by the Crafty Council to hide who we are. Like he said, these people in Myanmar, the people in India, people in Pakistan, some people in Thailand. There were many people in Malaysia. When I was in Thailand, Salaki, I didn't mean to touch it. When I was in Thailand, many of the Thais were much darker than I was. Cambodia, Indonesia, all right, Myanmar, Laos, those people are brown, all right? And in India, there are people in India that are just as dark and darker than some Africans, but they don't call them black. And I hate that. I hate that African American, and I hate that black. So let me just read Psalms 83, and then I'm gonna play this short video, bring out a couple scriptures, and wrap this up. As a matter of fact, I'll probably read Psalms 83 at the end. So I'll play the video first. Let me grab another scripture. This is Luke 12:2. And it reads, "There is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." All right. So the truth is coming out, and it's coming out like a flood. Esau flooded the world with lies. And now the world, through the men of the Lord, through the unicorn, is flooding the world with truth. Isaiah 25:7. "And he will destroy in this mountain the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." So they spread the veil over the nations as far as people are concerned. They spread a veil over the nations as far as the names, by changing the names. All right. And discarding all the biblical names. All right. Save the few that the Lord left. All right. Because the real Egyptians are no longer in Egypt. But the Ethiopians from the ancient times are pretty much still in Ethiopia, though. So you can use that as a guide. All right. Because remember, you can walk from Egypt right into to Western Asia. And it's a very short boat ride from Ethiopia across into Yemen. All right. Very short ride. Okay. So you know that these Ethiopians and these Kenyans and these Somalians were all always back and forth into Western Asia, trading and, you know, and vice versa, making babies. So all of Asia, you know, that term, black Asiatic man, all right, meaning dark. They were swarthy, just like he said, brown, tan, all right, you know, light skin. And like he said, there are some light skinned blacks that are lighter than some dark skinned so-called whites. So it's all about bloodline, not color in the first damn place. Okay, but now let's let these guys bring forth their truth, or some truth, all right, and expose the lie, which is Esau Edom. And the name of the video is They Lie. Europe is not a continent, never has been. And once again, I'll tell you, no one has ever spoke about this subject before the men of Great Millstone. All right, point blank, period. No one has talked about the beginning of whiteness on the internet, because I've seen lots of people jump on the bandwagon with that subject matter now, until Great Millstone did. All right. So here we go.
But we have come to believe that Europe is a continent because Europeans told us it was a continent. That in itself is part of the concept of whiteness.
Welcome to Candid Africa, truthful and unapologetic.
So, first of all, there are times that we believe things that are simply not true. And one example, I want you to think about this for a while, something that you perhaps have learned in grade school about the world. So, and don't call out on this, but here's the question. How many continents are there? I'm sure you learned about that. And then the other question is, can you name them? With a teacher, there's always a quiz. So can you name them? Okay, and I said not to call out. So if you said 7, you are absolutely wrong. Continent is a huge body of land. There are 6 huge bodies of land. And you probably thought, North America, South America, and then you get to Europe and Asia. And Europe and Asia is one landmass. Continent, I used to teach geography. A continent is a huge body of land separated from others, or almost separated. Europe is not separated. But probably in school you learned that Europe and Asia are separated by the Ural Mountains. Check out Mr. Webster. He says nothing about a mountain separating continents.
That will be true here in America. The Rocky Mountains split the country in half, damn near. But it's still in America. All right? It's an hour flight almost from Colorado to California to go over those mountains. All right? But it's still America. It doesn't. So that's bullshit. We also have the Appalachian Mountains, and then we have those mountains out east, northeast. You know, those hills up there, northern New York, New Hampshire, Maine, and around that area. All right, so there's a lot of mountainous regions in America, but it's still America.
But we have come to believe that Europe is a continent because Europeans told us it was a continent.
So if Europe is not a continent, Europeans are not Europeans. They're Edomites who got dominion over that land from Negroes. That's why so many Negroes had, there's nothing new under the sun, Edomite wives and concubines during the medieval time, during the Dark Ages. All right, this is modern and ancient Britons, okay? And all the historians tell you that the people all throughout Europe were melanated, swarthy, tawny people.
That in itself is part of the concept of whiteness. Europe is not a continent. It's a small part of Eurasia. And yet, for the longest time, and probably up until today, you believed it. And if you talk with people outside of this gathering, and you ask them, so how many continents are there? They say 7, and they'll rattle it off. And then you'll say, no, Europe isn't a continent. Oh, yes, it is. Because they learned it in the 5th grade. And they learned it well, but they learned it incorrectly. In the same way. And
See, he's being nice. They learned a fucking lie. All right? We just showed you. There is no separations. The Rocky Mountains does not divide America. All right? The Ural Mountains, the Caucasus Mountains, do not divide Asia.
What I'm getting at is that sometimes we believe things that are absolutely not true, and yet we cling to them.
There we have it. That has been our candid speech for today. Please feel free to give your opinions in the descriptions below. On this show, we don't tell you how to think or manipulate you. Everybody is open to air the opinion, what you think about the speech. Did you love it? Did you like it? Do you disagree with it? Do you agree with it? Please let us know in the comments below. That's important. Discussing these issues is very important. So with that said, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share this video with friends and family. It's the best way for you.
Well,
But we have come to believe.
Well, he didn't really show receipts. I showed more receipts and evidence than he did. But he has credit with Esau because he is a doctor. He has the documents. All right, he's a teacher. He's a doctor. So he has a certain level of credibility with them. All right. This is Psalms 83. All right, because the changing of the names of the continents and the whole creation of Europe, of separating Asia, of separating Europe from the rest of melanated dark brown Asia, dark brown, medium brown Asia, dark brown, medium brown Africa, was to create the concept of whiteness, which is a false lie. In 1681, in Virginia, in America, the concept of whiteness was created. Okay? Esau Edom has changed his nationality over. He went from being the Edomites, then he became the new Romans. He became the new Greeks, the new Romans. He became, everything in Europe that he wasn't. Because he claims history in a period of time in Europe, in the Eurasia, in that portion of Asia that they fraudulently call Europe, when so-called black people were ruling. Even Ben Franklin wrote about the black people, the swarthy and tawny people, all throughout Germany, Scotland, Ireland, Russia, Italy. Just look up that letter, Ben Franklin's letter from 1751. I can't recall the name right now. Okay? But all that was done as a part of the crafty council, which is talked about in the Bible, to put that cast, that covering cast over the nations to hide who we were. We're the target. They didn't want us to know our name, and they didn't want us to know the name of the Savior or the name of the Most High himself, of the Father. And they did that through miseducation and false education, pseudoscience, and all those things that talked about in the Bible. This is Psalms 83 and 2, and it reads, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They have consulted against thy hidden ones." See, the Israelites would be hidden. They wouldn't have the records to prove that they're J-ish or that they're Levi. They wouldn't have records. All right? The crafty counsel ensure that they will be cut off from their heritage, just as the Bible says. All right. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, and that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. All right. So the Bible goes to name the enemies of the Most High. The fleshly, earthly enemies of the Most High. And the first one is the tabernacles of Edom, the families, the race of the Edomites. All right. And the Ishmaelites. Those are majority of your Arabs, good portion of them, because some of your Arabs are also Elam. All right. Matter of fact, the word Arab means mixed. So that's the mixed line between them. All right. And there's really no such thing as mixed, but, those two nations did a lot of intermarrying. All right. But your race is going to be according to who your father is, just to keep it simple. All right. But nevertheless, that's what Arab means, is that Elamite and Ishmaelite mix. Them mixing together. OK, as far as marriage is concerned. It says of Moab, that will be your Chinese. Of hagarenes, more Israelites, the sons of Hagar. Gabal, more Ishmaelites. And Ammon, that's the Japanese. And Amalek, those are the Israelis, the JOOs. And the Philistines, all right, and the inhabitants of Tyre, the actual Hamites that were once there, because now the sons of Ham are no longer in Palestine, and that's what the Philistine means. The Ishmaelites are, all right, from the time of Muhammad. Okay, it says Ashur also is joined under, and I believe that's the Syrians. All right, it says which are also a Hebrew people, but not the Hebrew Israelites. It says Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. All right. So the Lord named his earthly enemies here on earth, and their whole mission was to hide who we are, to cover it up. Okay. Let me go and let me read Isaiah 25:7 once again. And it reads, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Edom is exposed, man. All right. There's no such thing as white people. There is no such thing as Europe. Europe is in Asia. And Asia was a swarthy and tawny continent. This is Africa was a swarthy and tawny continent. So was America. All right. The only people that's walking around here pale were the Edomites. All right. Now, of course, they've mixed and mingled their seeds. So now you got melanated Edomites, because the Edomites raped, robbed, and murdered wherever they went. And they made, millions of babies with melanated women, and their children came out looking like their moms. All right. But we know that, you are the seed of your father. Whatever your father is, that is what you are, regardless of the complexion of your skin. All right. So let's get 2nd Ezra 6:27. That's such a fire chapter, the 2nd Ezra 6 chapter. But this is 2nd Ezra 6:27. And it reads, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.